Right, today we're back for another episode of the 2025 Can I Beat the Pole Lap series, and this one is the Mexican Grand Prix, and yes, we are back with the VRC Formula Alpha 2025. Now, this one is huge. In real life, of course, for the championship, things have really heated up. Now, last time out, guys, if you haven't seen it, the US Grand Prix Pole Lap video, I can't lie, we spent a couple of hours on it with this car, and it was an incredible challenge. I'm hoping today things might just be a little bit easier to have driven this car now, a few more times. I'm a bit more used to what to expect, and I'm hoping we can find the lap time a little bit easier. But last time out, guys, it was an absolute challenge. Go check it out, link in the top right. For this one though, we're looking to beat Lando Norris. He put in an absolute shift in qualifying, and put in the sort of lap that could be huge come the end of the season, because this might be a moment where we reflect and realise just how critical it was. Now, Lando's on pole, Piastri's down in P8. The time to beat is a 1 minute 15.586, and to be fair, Lando was comfortably quickest. The two Ferraris were the big surprise, I'd say, of the weekend. They were P2, P3, having really good pace. But yeah, this should be fun. Now, one thing to note, this is probably the most accurate Mexico you're going to find on the market, with the exception of the recently released version, I believe, on iRacing. So yeah, this is going to be a proper version of Mexico. Nothing like the F125 game. This is almost, if not possibly, laser scan. So this should be quite interesting and quite fun. So we're going to get stuck in. We are on the C2 hard compound tyres. There's a step down to the mediums this weekend, and then the softs, of course, like in USA. But here we go. Oh, trying to get the car stopped, though. It's proving a bit of a difficult challenge, and we're going to have to take the shortcut. So we'll try that one again. We had this in Austin, the hard tyres are very hard to make work in this car, and you're going to have to really fight on this initial couple of runs with the default settings. Eventually things do improve, but out of the box, the car is a real handful to drive, as you can see there. Right, sector 1 done. Trying to brake, but just the slightest bit of braking just locks the fronts. It's really difficult to get in the right window. Now for all the slow stuff. Got a bit more of this in sector 3, of course, but now we're going to race into the S's. Let's see. These are so much more different than what we're used to in the F1 game on this. Way lower average speed. You have to brake and actually slow down and downshift through these. It's much tighter, much more of a challenge, whereas in F1 it's entirely flat. Literally nothing alike. Right, now into sector 3. Into the stadium section. Taking a bit of curb, watch the exit, and now open up the hairpin through the stadium. Bit of understeer as we wash out a bit of wide over the last couple of curbs. And now the final corner. The pedalada. Up to the line we go. Not the best lap. I might go for just one more here and try and see if I can find a bit of time. In the top right of the dash, you can just make out the advantage that we're gathering here. Lock up into the stadium. That's not going to help, and actually tyres are overheating, so this could be interesting for when we go for the softer compounds. Through the last corner. Watch the power, trying to take a tighter line. Right, second lap is going to be a 23.0, so only a marginal improvement. So let's get to improving some more. So straight away we're going to go for the corresponding tyres, which is going to be the C4s. Those are the next step down. So this weekend C5, C4 and C2, with the C3s being skipped entirely. For the fuel, we're going to do half, so we'll go for 25 litres and just kind of work our way down gradually. MG UK, I'm happy with Strat 8 for now. Not really looking for any changes here. We are going to go for the high downforce package, and I'll put a bit of front wing on, and I'll also increase the gurney flap to max. I know it's hard to kind of match the high altitude simulation because they actually run Monaco downforce here in real life. We can't run Monaco downforce here because we'll be too slow on the straight. So we have to find a compromise to get the lap time right. We're going to run the louvers open like in real life because of heating issues. And now for the brakes, I'm going to just go a pop back on the balance, and hopefully that would give us a bit. Actually, we'll go 2 back, and that should help us a little bit. So we'll leave the balance default. So elsewhere, a few other tweaks. We're going to scroll down a bit more. There's so much here that I forget just how much depth this has. So we already have the engine map in low, which is what I like. I'm going to put a bit of engine brake on, and yeah, we'll go for mode race plus on this one, or plus on the next run, so that'll give us a bit more performance engine power. I'll leave the camber and toe for now because we were overheating the hards a little bit, so I wonder if the mediums now, because we're 2 steps softer, may even overheat quite a bit, so I don't really want to change too much there. So all we're going to do really is just drop the roll bar. We'll go down about 5 clicks on the front, about 4 or 5 on the rear. Okay, we'll go again. We'll get race plus enabled. And let's get to it. Already I can feel there's way more grip on this tyre. Still got to be a little bit careful to not go too over the top. Delta bar is now active, so we'll hopefully see just how much time we find on this one. You can see we're losing a bit on the straight, of course, with the increased downforce package. Braking very late for turn 1. A little bit deep, but we didn't lock up. Just needed to stop the car some more. Cutting the curb quite a bit there at turn 2. Plenty of traction on exit, and it's a small improvement, but I'm hoping to find more now through sectors 2 and 3. That's where I'm hoping to really make a difference. Accidentally went down to second. I meant to go third for the first apex, and then second for this one. All good though. We take a better line through here, not having to steer and turn twice. Right, here we go. Into the S's. Tip it in. Tyres are overheating, so the softs are going to be a challenge here, but carrying way more speed through here this time. Car is way more planted and stable, and as a result, look at all that time gain through the middle sector. Oh, bit of a lock up there. It's just going to hurt us. We keep it on track and keep the lap time valid. We hit our apex through the 4 assault. On a couple of corners, keep it tidy. Try to get the power down as soon as possible. There we go. Up to the line. And it's a 1 minute 20.7, so that leaves us 5.2 seconds off. So work to be done still, but we can keep pushing and finding that lap time. So this may be awkward, but I'm going to give the softs a go and see how we get on. I may just up the pressures a little bit, go 2 on the rear and 1 on the front. We'll see how that translates. For the fuel, we're going to go half again, so we'll run about 12 litres, which is still estimated 6.9 laps, which is a lot. Electronics. Now, for this one, we have, of course, the custom strat modes, which we'll get into in a bit on like future runs, but Strat 8 doesn't really use anything. You can see Strat Mode 2, they're all kind of yet to be mapped, so there's not really much going on here in terms of battery use, which is ultimately free lap time. So we'll figure this out on the next run. For now, we're just going to basically run a higher engine mode. We'll get to that in a second. So for this one, I am going to try very high downforce, but I'm going to put the front wing flap down, and I'm also going to just open up the rear gurney flap a little bit again to kind of offset. So it's a very high downforce package, but it's not Monaco spec, super high. The brakes are fine. I'm happy with those. I think we'll be okay. Same goes for the balance. So yeah, really at this point, all I want to do is just work on the roll bars a little bit. So yeah, for PU mode, we're going to go for this one. We'll try push and see how the car works. I'm going to put a bit more engine brake on as well, and then I'm not going to put any more camber on because we were overheating already. I mean, if anything, I might put the toe down a little bit for tyre temp reasons. That might help us. I believe nearer to 0 is better for temps, so we'll do that. And then all I want to do is go down to suspensions here, and yeah, we're going to put a little bit on the torsion bar on the front. Not a lot. I don't need too much front end sharpness, but I will put the front roll bar down some more, especially on the rear to improve traction. We'll go down 3 clicks down there, and we'll give this one a go. Okay, here we go then. I'm keen to see how the battery works in mode push, because at the minute it seems like unless you map a strat mode, the battery's not going down. So it seems like we're not actually using anything. So I'm going to use some overtake and manually override it myself, and automatically look at the difference there. That is massive. I took it a bit easier on the out lap to try and not overheat my tyres so much. So we'll see if the softs can hold up. For now, you can see we're struggling a bit, but look at the difference with the battery override. We're gaining so much free lap time. Yeah, the brakes feel super delicate around this track compared to Kota. Like, I'm really taking it easy on the brake pedal. Right, easy does it out of here. Big traction zone. We're just gaining so much time with the increased downforce package. Soft tyre grip, of course, and then you pair that with the battery use through the S's. Nicely done. Oh, a little bit early there on that one. Just turned it a bit too soon. That's going to hurt a little bit. We'll use battery to compensate. Down towards the stadium. Little mistake here last time. Of course, we ran in a bit deep. This time we correct and regain that free lap time. A little bit wide of the apex there as we bump over the curbs. One corner to go. Way more speed carried in there, and it's going to be a significant improvement on this one. Battery to the line. 1 minute 18.4, so that gets us within 3 seconds. Can still do way more than this though. Although, is there 3 seconds there? This is where the awkwardness of the high downforce package in real life, where they're running Monaco spec downforce, it's aided by the high altitude because they have no drag. So they set Monza straight line speeds with Monaco downforce. We can't quite match that here, which is quite awkward. Now, before we go any further, there is actually a preset setup that comes with this car mod. So what I'm going to do is save my baseline progress setup for now. So that's now saved. And we can actually go ahead and load one that is for this track called Mexico. So we'll give this a try and see what this does. Now, just quickly kind of checking over the top, it has the correct tyres, the C5s. It has 10 litres of fuel. It has the strap modes mapped. You can see down here all the colours, the blue and the red. So everything is accordingly mapped as well. So very high downforce package. It's actually got rear max gurney flap as well. So yeah, we'll try this and see, because if it feels good and it's quick, then we can build on this. So yeah, we'll give this a crack. It is set to mode 6 for race. I might run push mode 2. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. So let's give this one a try. Strap mode 2 is the one which is mapped to be theoretically quickest. So here we go. Out the last corner. I want to see how the battery performs, so I won't be using any overtake. We're going to see how this strap mode performs. And so far, we are flying down the straight here. This is a really good start. Let's see if we feel good at high speed. Bit of a lock up on the way in there. Might just move my brake balance a little bit rearward as we bump over the curbs. Be balanced to the rear. That should hopefully take care of the rest. Feels like there's more stopping power with these brakes. More potential to slow the car down. Trying third gear through there didn't really work that well. Same goes for this one. Lost a little bit of time through that section, not ideal. But we know there's a bit of time through here. Trying to be a bit more aggressive with the car. Over the curves. Every single one of them. That's looking good. Still got plenty of battery in the tank. Into the stadium. Fourth gear through there this time. Oh, we lock up into the hairpin. That's a big mistake to make. Going to feel that all the way until we exit the final corner. Tight line. Let's see if we can gain a little bit more lap time there, but 17.2. So that gets us a bit closer, but we're still quite a way off, to be honest. I'm not at 100% track grip. I'm at 98, which is fast. So maybe a bit like in Austin, we have to run 100% optimal to get the right conditions. Now, I'll be honest, that felt really nice. Really nice. That was actually really balanced as a setup. All I'm going to do is tweak the fuel and the brakes. Now, we can go lower, quite a bit lower here. This track's quite forgiving. We'll go for 6 litres of fuel. And then for the wings, it seemed fine to me. I just think the brakes need a bit of work. So in this case, we might just change the brake balance. So we'll go 56. We'll go all the way to the rear and see how that works. Hopefully we don't rear lock. And yeah, pretty much, other than that, it's the strap mode. How much battery do we want to use? Because clearly there was some left over. So that could be a massive, massive help. Now, I made a small error. Actually, the best strap mode possible was actually strap 1. I actually used, I believe, strap 2 on the last one. So now, using strap 1, we should gain that full power deployment. So we'll go for the correct modes. Mode push, strap 1. Those are the two that are the optimal, quickest design modes. So here we go. Open it up as we begin the lap. Let's see if I'm right. I think I am. You can see we're gaining on the straight. It's using the E-boost. In other words, the overtake. So we should gain throughout the lap. Oh, a bit of a lock up, bit of rear locking as well on the way in. I had to correct, and that was a bit of a moment. That's not going to help, so we'll try that again. A little bit scruffy and scrappy all the way through there, but still struggling. In real life, they can really cut those curbs. It seems like we can't cut them. It just completely destabilizes the car, so we're going to have to kind of go around them a little bit. Okay, that was better. That was a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. Let's see, though, if we can keep gaining time throughout the lap. One well deep. I'm struggling with the brakes. Like, I feel like I'm nowhere near max braking capacity. The brake just locks right away, so I can't really put any brake on. I'm really struggling with it. Oh my god. I'm not sure what's changed. The car just got very, very wild. I'm tempted to put the track grip up, to be honest, because we're nowhere near the time. It's Austin all over again. I'm not even going to lie. Already on 100% track grip, this feels completely different. I'm also actually running a small change on the car setup where I'm covering the brakes so they keep more temperature. So let's just see what we can do. I expect a significant improvement with the correct battery modes as well, paired with the improved track grip. So let's see. Let's see exactly what we can do. 17.2 is our personal best. A bit of rear lock in there. Brakes a bit too much on the rear this time. Over the curbs. Still got to be very cautious through there. Put the bead bar up a little bit just for the rear locking. Yeah, these lockups are killing my tyres. I just can't get comfortable on the brakes. It's the only issue now that's holding me back around this track from really full sending it. And even with the improved track grip, it feels better, but because the braking is still an issue, I'm not really improving that much. I do find a bit through the S's, you can see the difference in grip that gives me more confidence to send the car through there, but this is a good thing. We're not going to gain as much as I originally thought, so we're still going to have a bit of a challenge on our hands. So this is exactly what I wanted. Just a small aid, but without it kind of transforming the video. There's a lot of time there, which we made the mistake, of course, last time at the Forest. Alright, this will get us a bit closer, 16.6, but we're basically a second away. Maybe even if we just get P2, 15.8, that'd be a good time. But let's try and figure out a solution. Now this mod has different brake shapes. 5 different shapes. I've actually changed it, which I've never done before, so I'm debuting something that we're going to find out if this helps in real time. So here we go. It feels pretty good on the outlap, but the outlaps have felt pretty good in general, but this will be the big test. These big braking zones at turn 1 and turn 4. Big lock up on the way in. That's not going to help one bit. We'll try the next one just to see how it translates. Back end fighting me. We just lose too much temp everywhere down the pit straight and it hurts us massively. That was a bit better. Although we didn't really gain much from it, but it felt better. Lighten the rears out there, but we gained all that lap time back, so there's a good chunk of time there, to be fair. The rest of the lap isn't so bad. We gained all that time last time, but there's a significant amount of time, of course, in that first sector, pretty much, and start of sector 2. Looks like we are going to improve on this one, so we'll stick with it here. Lovely entry into the Forest. Made a mistake there last time, and suddenly now, if you put the mistakes out of the picture and we put the lap together, we have a lap that could potentially fight for pole. 16.2. So now if we iron out that start of the lap error, that would at least get us into the 15s. We're about 7/10 off now. So yeah, that brake shape felt okay. I think if we can get through turn 1 cautiously, the rest of the lap seems to come together with this improved brake mapping setting. Oh, damn it. I was doing okay there. Messed that up, though. We sorted out the first part of the lap. We've basically lost our advantage. That's a shame. So there's at least half a second in the lap for sure. Oh, struggling through there. Tyres are giving out. So if you overdrive it, you're going to pay the price on the tyres. Marginal improvement here, but it's not what we're looking for. I think the lap's possible now, though. I do believe it's possible. Ooh, sliding. lost time. I really did a good job before with that middle sector. Oh, I can just feel, you can just feel the rears are getting really hot through the S's, and they just let go into that right-hander. Oh my God. Maybe we need to put the bias up a little bit into that final sector 3 because the rears just let go. That hasn't happened before. That's a new one. Really locking like that into turn 1. Exact same bias settings as the last couple of laps. I've had no issues. Oh my God, no, that was going so well. That might have been a contender. Oh my God, the tyres are just giving out. That last sector is proving such a challenge to get right. Oh my God. The lap, I don't know if it's there, but it exists. Like, I just think we was basically 3 tenths down in the first sector because that turn 1. So if we get that back and clean that up, it's about 6 tenths, which puts us on a 0.6 low. It's right there. Oh, again, it needs that bias adjustment. Oh, getting frustrated now. This is USA all over again. But it's typical how this car is actually going to be super bloody accurate for lap time yet again. Like, literally so accurate. Ooh, close. Small few errors, but we're basically a tenth away. A 586 to a 699. It's doable. Very doable. Oh no. The lap's getting away. Yeah, the lap got away. I don't believe it. It's definitely doable now. It really is, but it's, can I hold on to the tyres? It's so delicate. I'm being very smooth on the outlap, but if I just overdo it one bit, it's game over. But it's a really tricky compromise because there's time in the middle sector if I go all in, but if I do that, the consequence is that I have no tyres for sector 3. So you gain, but at what cost? Yes, come on. There it is. Beautiful lap. We managed to get it together. That was a trick. No corrections. Very smooth lap. Any sort of correction would just kill the tyres, overheat them. It's so fine as a window. So that was perfect. Got the lap together, and we didn't have to sacrifice too much in the middle because we had a very good start of the lap, and then we were able to hold our tyres for the end, and it all came together. So we beat Lando by a tenth and a bit, nearly a tenth and a half. Now, to be frankly honest, the setup itself is actually the VRC Mexico setup, which comes with the mod. So if you guys have the mod, you'll have this setup. All I did was run 6 liters of fuel. That was one of the changes I made. And then Strat 1 is the fast mode on this setup. The downforce, I didn't change it again, not really important. I did change the brakes to my liking. So brake balance map 4 with 57 on the setting for the actual balance itself. But very importantly here, I ran brake shape map 3, which is, as you can see here, this one here. So originally it was brake shape map 1. And I think why we were struggling is because the minute you put the brake on, it just ramps up. And I was locking up in this phase here. So this just basically allows for a bit more linear braking initially to kind of decelerate and get the fast part out of the way. And then you can kind of like migrate and manage and kind of trail brake a little bit. But I needed this kind of flat section here to just give me control in the initial braking zone where I would put most of the brake power down with no consequence. I think at this point here with my braking technique, because I put the brake really hard, it was probably bleeding into this ascension where it was causing the lockup to happen. So this was a lot more linear and made more sense. And then the migration of 4% starts to kick in and rotate towards the rear. So this was a really good setting and worked really well. And ultimately, I think was the key that made me get this lap time because I was struggling with the brakes this entire video. That aside, like I said, it's actually the same setup. All I did was change the diff. I changed it from 6 to 5 on the mid for a bit more mid-turn grip. And then off the top of my head, any other adjustments I can think of, I'm running engine map low, I was running push, also engine brake 10, a little bit more, just a bit more engine brake for my liking and preference. And then anything else that I can think of, I don't think so. I think the rest is as it comes out of the tin with that setup. So that was pretty much everything. So guys, there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Again, a massive challenge, just like in Kota, but the difference is from one week to the other, I've driven this car quite a bit, and I've got a bit better understanding of how it works. And in this particular case, having a setup from VRC itself in the car files is really helpful. We can basically streamline the process and get to the end goal a lot quicker, and we beat Lando by a 10th. So guys, I'd appreciate a like on the video. Let's try and smash 1,000 likes. Subscribe for more. Comment below who do you think is winning tonight, and is the championship going to get even closer heading into the next few rounds? In the meantime, mods will be linked down below, guys, at the bottom of the description, so go check down there for all the mods that I use in these videos. As always, a massive shout out to my channel members for supporting the content. Check out the 2 videos on screen. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and it's goodbye from me. Ciao, ciao.